Before we begin this podcast, please be advised that the following episode contains language that some listeners may find offensive and inappropriate. The opinions expressed by the host and guests are their own and do not reflect the views of the podcast producers. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Voices of a Killer and our second episode of Javier Evans' story. Last time, we heard how Javier was deeply entrenched in criminal activity. However, a near-death experience gave Javier a new perspective and an opportunity to change his ways. Did Javier take that opportunity, or did he spoil it? We'll find out on this episode of Voices of a Killer. So, your crime happened when you were 24 years old, which was not too long ago. What kind of person were you at 24 years old, Javier?
I was working at Wing House. Currently a new father, yeah.
Where were you working?
I was working at Wing House.
What is that?
A restaurant. Wing House. Basically like a sports bar. You can go eat wings and stuff and watch the football games and stuff like that.
So you had an honest job. Were you also hustling drugs on the side?
A little bit, like marijuana every now and then. But I really was just working, making sure my new child at the time was okay and being a father. That's all I was doing at the time. And then COVID-19 hit, and then I took a bad turn because they shut everything down. So I lost my job, went to unemployment, and stuff started happening. So I had to go for what I know. And then I went to making money as usual, a lot of money as usual, and then stuff happened.
So the victim in your case is actually somebody that you know, and his name is Antonio Long. How long did you know him?
For half of my life. He was a couple years older than me, but me, him, his brothers, his other two brothers, we all grew up together. We was bad kids back then, stealing cars and stuff like that together. So we grew up from childhood.
Are y'all pretty close?
Yeah, we was.
And y'all actually lived together? That y'all were roommates?
That's how they put it, but like I said, it was a trap house. We was selling drugs out of a house. So everybody stayed, but we had other places we lived too.
Yeah, so not officially living there, but you probably slept in the same house together at certain points, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of person was Antonio Long? Was he the same kind of guy you were, just kind of getting by and working and maybe selling drugs here and there?
Yeah. We used to do what we do. Bro was good. He was good people. He was an honest man.
So if I were to ask Antonio Long, the victim in your case, about you at the age of 24, how do you think he would describe you?
He'll probably call me crazy.
Why?
Because the stuff I do, I like to be wild. Not wild, but the life of the party. No, use my language. No F's parting and stuff like that.
So, do you agree with that? You pretty walled out or what?
Yeah, I used to love to hang out. He tricking with girls and stuff like that. So that's what he used to love to call me, a tricky. He's a tricky dick. I was like, man, just chill, man. You do what you do. I do what I do. Sometimes we used to be in competition and stuff like that. We used to hang out. So
your victim, Antonio, had you, before the day that this crime happened, did you ever have a fallout with him?
No, never had a fallout.
So what I want to know is, and not to get into the story entirely yet, but what was the basis around your argument with this victim?
To be honest, it was really about money that he owed and stuff that was just going on around us at the time that happened, and he felt like it was my fault, and I felt like it wasn't my fault. Then when money gets involved, people get jealous.
Yeah. Did you make more money than him?
Honestly, I don't know. At the time, I was just coming up. I was just now getting my money right. So I wouldn't say I had as much, but I was doing good for myself to be coming from a month ago, not having nothing but $400, and for a month, not even a whole month later, to have $50,000, $60,000 type stuff. So
you had
you
had that kind of cash on you, $50,000?
Yeah, at the time, because the stuff that we was in the credit card fraud and selling weed, and I was doing other stuff that,
With it being illegal activity, you probably don't have a bank to put your money in, right? So what do you do with all that cash like that?
I used to just put it up at like my mom's house, a girlfriend house, or auntie house, or how the I used to just walk around with a lot of money. I take so much pictures with money. You'll never know. I might have $20,000 on one day, next day have 15,000 or 8,000, something like that.
Are you not afraid that would make you a target? Somebody out there that maybe is on crack or doesn't like you and just sees pictures of you with money and go and get you?
At the time, the lifestyle I was living, I wasn't worried about it because I had a name for myself around it. As growing up, to have firearms or known to fight, or I really might have my time.
Did you have pretty strong street cred?
A little bit. You could say that.
Yeah. So he actually owed you money?
Yeah, something like that.
Why did he owe you money?
Because I was actually finna buy a car from him, and I gave him the money one night, and I gave him like $2,500. He was like, all right. He was like, whenever you ready, man, we can go. We get the DMV, we can switch it over, and stuff started happening, and then he wasn't going. I really don't know what happened up to the point with the money part, but we did fall out about it.
So you had already given him the money, but you didn't actually get the title switched over yet, and he was kind of giving you the runaround, is what you're saying?
Basically giving me the runaround, and I got to the point I was like, man, I just want my money back. So you at least give me half for it back. I was like, I gave you $2,500. I could have gave you all the money. If I'd have gave you all the money, you doing me like this now.
Why do you think he kept your money like that?
To be honest, I don't know. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got family issues and kid issues. He had other cars at the time, and I had another car at the time. So it was like, I don't know. But we was continue making money as far as on going in on our packages and stuff, getting money. But it wasn't nothing like I know I ain't gonna get it, but I knew I was gonna get it, but just didn't know when.
Javier's relationship with Antonio Long went way back. They'd grown up in the same block together, running petty crimes and breaking into cars as kids before they graduated to more serious drug-related offenses. And although Javier made several efforts to straighten up his act, by early 2020 when COVID hit, Javier was laid off and was financially pressured to return to his old ways of making a living. Come September, he was back selling drugs out of a trap house he shared with Antonio, and the two men resumed their partnership in crime. The feud between Javier and Antonio began as nothing more than a slight irritation. Javier had given Antonio $2,500 in exchange for Antonio's old car, but months went by and the car never materialized, with Antonio offering up weak excuses. Why Antonio kept delaying the exchange isn't clear, but it left Javier feeling snubbed by his old friend, and over time, the incomplete transaction amounted to a falling out between them. Perhaps the criminal world they both inhabited bred a growing mistrust and resentment between the two old friends. Although annoyed, Javier was confident that Antonio would eventually make good on the deal, however long it might take. This was not a strong motive to kill somebody. So what happened on December 21st of 2020 that caused Javier to shift gears? We'll hear more about that after the break. How long before the day of the crime happened did you give him the $2,500?
I was actually trying to get the car for my birthday, so it was right before my birthday. I say like September 9th. The crime happened in December. My birthday is in September, so I gave it like 10 days before my birthday.
Okay, so it was months that he had this money and you never got a vehicle?
Yeah.
Well, you kept asking him every time, like, hey, where's it at?
No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like I went asking him because I see him every day. A situation happened with one of our other friends where I guess a gun came up missing out the house, and they didn't know where the gun went. Nobody knew where the gun was, and so everybody started arguing. They thought I took the gun, and then I'm like, I ain't take the gun. They say, oh, such and such took the gun. Such and such didn't take the gun. It was just like crazy stuff going on.
Did you take the gun?
No. I didn't even know the gun was missing. Then it was just like start arguing about, oh, what this and that type stuff. And then I brought it all up. Man, you've been ducking me for a couple months about a call that I didn't get a chance to do.
So were there other people that were around whenever you and Antonio Long got in an argument about this money?
A couple people was, but you know how it was, like how it is in the neighborhood. friends, or he would just be thinking, just be talking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So nobody really never paid it no attention.
Yeah. Did you approach him and basically say, "Listen, you're giving me this money or else," or how did that? I mean, where did it come to?
It was just like, nigga, you'll get your, excuse me, man. You'll get your money back. Call like, man, I got to the point where I don't even want the car no more, bro. Just give my cheese back. Being funny. You'll get your money back. I get your money back when we get done doing what we doing and stuff like that. So
did he do hard drugs? Did he smoke crack?
No. He smoked weed and drank liquor and stuff and pop pills, but it wasn't no hard drugs.
So, did Antonio carry a weapon with him?
Yeah.
A pistol?
Yeah. We all did it. Everybody around us did. Or if you did it, we'll give you one.
Did you have a gun on you that day?
No, I actually did.
So, at some point, it got heated enough. Did Antonio threaten you at all?
Not at first, but then physically, yeah, when we pushed me, I pushed him, and then we started physically fighting.
So y'all actually started swinging on each other?
Yeah.
Who was getting the best of the other?
There really wasn't nobody getting the best of each other. It was just going at it, just hitting each other.
Yeah. Did y'all draw a crowd around you?
No, it wasn't a crowd because there really wasn't that many people around.
Was it out in the front yard or in the house?
It was in the house.
Did y'all have some other people there besides you two?
Yeah, another friend of mine, and then a lady that actually stayed there. That was like one of our customers, like a buddy, like one of our customers.
Yeah.
She was one of our crackheads. She stayed there with us.
Did they try to intervene and tell y'all guys to cut it out, or they just watched?
One of our friends, he just watched. The lady, I don't know what she was at the time, but one of my other friends, he just watched until he actually started attacking him, and it was just stuff went left from there.
Oh, so he kind of jumped in and helped you?
No, me and Antonio was fighting, then him and Antonio started fighting, and then...
Why did this guy fight him?
Because he was mad about the spot being junky and stuff like that, just going on about a lot of other stuff.
So at some point in time, was there a weapon that was produced?
Yeah.
Who produced the weapon?
Antonio did at first.
Did it fall out while he was fighting, or did he pull it out?
He actually grabbed it from by his book bag. I guess he had it when he came in that morning. He had it with him.
Whenever he pulled that out of his book bag, were you a ways away from him, or were you right there with him, or what?
I was a couple feet away from him, and then I walked up on him and stuff like that.
Whenever you saw him pull that gun out, what was your first reaction?
Bro, you ain't gonna shoot me, bro. We homies. You my brother. You ain't gonna shoot me.
And you did look at him as a homie, didn't you?
Yeah, that was my brother. That was like my big brother.
But he did pull out a gun on you. Did he actually point it at you?
Not at first. I got up and got up a little more close to 3.
Did he just kind of brandish it and try to scare you with it?
Yeah, pretty much. And it kind of did scare me.
Yeah. What kind of gun was it?
It was like a rifle gun, like a little small rifle gun.
Oh, it was a long gun?
Yeah, kind of.
Wow. So what was your reaction? Did you try to take it from him, or you try to keep fighting him while he's holding it?
No, I tried to take it from him.
Were you successful at getting away from
him? No, not at first until we was wrestling over, the gun started going off, and I didn't know where the shots was going, but he was getting hit, I guess, at the time. So the shots was going off.
Y'all were struggling for the weapon, and somehow you were able to direct that towards him. And did you actually hold the gun yourself and shoot him?
No.
How did he get shot?
It was just going off. I guess at the time, like, as I was fighting over, it was going off and wrestling back and forth, I guess.
Well,
we kind of overpower him.
So it being a longer gun, it's kind of hard to picture someone else holding the gun and then shooting themselves. Where did he get shot at?
That I don't know at first. I know it was like his leg, like somewhere like down below and stuff.
Whenever he first got hit, did that make him stop, or he kept wrestling around?
Well, we kept wrestling around until the shooting stopped.
What was the final shot that made him stop? Where did it hit him? Do you know?
I don't, because when it stopped, he went past me and fell on the floor.
Did he have any shots in his back?
Not at the time until my other friend picked the gun up and was like, "Oh, bro, man, we gonna be straight. Ain't gonna." Then he did what he did with it, and then left out with it.
So the other guy that was there, you're saying he picked up the gun and shot Antonio?
Yeah.
Did he get convicted?
No, he actually didn't.
Wow.
He actually went to court on me.
So he took.
Said I did everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me guess. I'm gonna guess what maybe have happened. Y'all both got arrested, and you didn't talk, and he took a deal and said it was you, so he turned state's evidence.
No, I actually turned myself in the same day it happened. And
well, I'm just talking about the trial because you say that he took the stand against you, right?
Yeah. Basically, that's what it was. He took a deal with the state, made a deal with the state.
So, did you actually watch him shoot Antonio?
Yeah.
And he never got convicted, right?
No.
Months of long simmering tension broke out in a sudden fight that left Antonio dead. It's worth mentioning that after Antonio's death, conflicting accounts would emerge about exactly what happened to him in the St. Pete trap house. For now, here's Javier's version of what took place. The trigger that sparked the altercation was a separate issue altogether. Antonio wrongfully accused Javier of taking a gun, and this provoked an explosive argument and a physical struggle. But Antonio upped the stakes of their fight when he pulled out a short-barreled rifle. A brief scuffle ensued, during which the gun was accidentally discharged, and Antonio fell, injured, to the ground. What happened next is conspicuously missing from the official police reports and news articles that came later. Javier introduces a third person to the picture of that night, another member of the trap house also involved in the fight. While Antonio was left helpless on the ground, Javier claims the third man picked up the gun and killed him. This new information shakes up the case entirely. If true, Javier is not the man responsible for Antonio's death. Rather, the third man is the one who shot Antonio with a chilling calmness and certainty. Regardless, Antonio's killing highlights the volatile environment he and Javier lived in. With tempers running high, suspicions heightened, and weapons readily available, it took little for a small conflict like this to escalate into a fatal conclusion. A conclusion that will have to wait for the next episode of this episode of Voices of a Killer. In the final episode of Javier's story, we'll hear how the law caught up with Javier. If you want to find out what happens next, right now, you can sign up at patreon.com/voicesofakiller. There you can find bonus content, early access, ad-free listening, and access to our chat community. So go to patreon.com/voicesofakiller to sign up now. Your support is what keeps us passionate about bringing these stories to you. That's a wrap on this episode of Voices of a Killer. A big shout out to Sonic Futures, who handled the production, audio editing, music licensing, and promotion of this podcast. If you want to hear more episodes like this one, make sure to visit our website at voicesofakiller.com. There you can find previous episodes, transcripts, and additional information about the podcast. Lastly, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Your feedback helps us improve and reach new listeners. Thank you for your support, and we can't wait to share more stories with you in the future. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Toby, and we'll see you next time on Voices of a Killer.